has its purposes as well, but it's important to think about that distinction. And then a third axis I think about with screen time is how active it is in terms of, is your child creating something, if they are writing a story or creating art.
The key is the digital learning apps, because if my own children aren't a guide, otherwise they'll just spend all their time playing video games.
There are a couple apps that I think are doing a really great job at this. The first one that comes to mind is Prodigy Game. They built a math app based on Pokemon, and kids are just begging to ask to play with it. And some schools have even banned it because they think the kids are playing math too much. It's kind of crazy and shows the resistance to technology.
And it's so true. There were not nearly as many tools as there are now. It's so exciting what's happening in the independent learning space. I remember, for example, when Khan Academy was this unknown, amazing tool that homeschoolers loved, but I think for a certain number of time, it was pretty much only homeschoolers using Khan Academy, and watching Khan Academy become what it's become has been a really beautiful thing to watch over the last 10, 15 years.
I want apps that are as compelling as Roblox and Minecraft and teach math and science, but I think you're actually alluding to some in the subsequent shit, so that's exciting. Thank you.
I'm excited for you to try some of them out. I will say, I think there are a lot more apps like that available for children in early childhood up to grade 8, and there's a real lack of them for children in high school. There's a big need for more adaptive learning apps for that group. For some reason, everyone's building for early childhood.
I think we're finding that the games can be engaging, similar to Roblox or a Minecraft. The tokenomics in there really help to catapult some of the engagement. But I think what we're also finding is in early literacy and numeracy, young children need a immediate feedback from somebody who's engaged with them. That can't be replicated, I don't think, in a game. I think there's something to be said about human connection and the role of the learned to the learner.
And the combination is essential. Ideally, there will be nature-based learning, there will be handwriting, there will be adaptive learning apps. Technology is definitely part of our world, and it can be a great way to learn, but we really have to see what works for each individual child, and I don't believe in an all-or-nothing approach.
And I think the most overrated objection to homeschooling is, what about socialization? In my experience, people are over-socialized these days, not under-socialized. There's so many avenues to socialize, and a lot of the misery and depression and suicide comes about because of social games that people are playing. Look at people who are on Instagram or TikTok all the time. They're over-socialized. Are they happier for it? I think socialization leads to groupthink and bullying and just sort of conformity. And, kids these days are so heavily socialized thanks to social media, and they get to go out so much, and they're always doing team sports, team activities, team play. There's just a high degree of socialization. So I don't think that's what's missing. If anything, I think exceptional people are built in solitude. If you look back on any truly exceptional person, they spend too much of their time doing the thing that they were obsessed with, whether it was science and math or reading or just doing push-ups or going out and surfing or, tending to the garden or whatever their obsession was. And a lot of these obsessions are solitary. So I think especially if you want your children to really be their exceptional self rather than learn how to play artificial social games. After all, high school is all artificial social games, which don't even really map well to real world social games. Then I think you want them to have more solitude and less socialization.
I love the framing of it as being an overrated objection. I have definitely seen so many homeschoolers who lead highly social lives. What's interesting to me is that people are comparing school versus homeschooling for socialization. But what's cool is that in homeschooling, you can curate an ideal social experience for your child.
The kind of socialization that we do as adults, which is much more voluntary with friends, is very different than the kind of socialization that kids do in school. They're almost forced to socialize in these environments where a victim can't run away from a bully because they're forcibly put into an environment where they're going to interact with each other all the time. They also play very artificial status popularity games where they can't step out of the dominant popularity game, whether it's like who's the coolest kid, who's doing the best drugs, who's like playing football, etc. Whereas in the real world, you have much more freedom to navigate to find your tribe. And then to the extent that you do play a social game, it's at least the one that you want to play. Anyway, some of this is just idiosyncratic to me. I hate obligatory social functions. You'll never catch me at a wedding or a birthday or a bar mitzvah just because I'm quote unquote supposed to be there. Not even at a PTA meeting. I just do everything out of interest, nothing out of obligation. And so why should I have my demand that my kids do something differently?
Nir, I know I've asked you this question a million times, so thank you for humoring me. One of the biggest misconceptions about homeschooling is that it's not social. Your daughter has such a vibrant social life, and she's so easy to talk to and engage with, so confident and self-possessed. Could you tell us how she makes friends and talk a little bit about homeschooling and socialization relative to your own family and in general?
Thanks for the kind words, Manisha, and I happen to agree. I think Jasmine does have fantastic social skills, even though that's the first question everyone asks about homeschooling. I think that there's some real advantages to the kind of social skills that kids develop from homeschool rather than conventional school. Let me list some of those out. Maybe first we should start with the status quo. I don't think that public school or conventional school is a panacea for socialization either. When we put